Protests are not irregular in Iran. As long as I can remember, people have been talking about the fall of the regime in Iran, both here in the U.S. and within Iran itself. None of the, I mean, it's been there for 40 years. From the Islamic Republic's perspective, they are in war with the U.S. And so when they see these kinds of uprisings, like in November, in which in some places there were the shooting did take place from the part of the protesters. And that's very odd in a place like Iran, because usually there aren't, only in some tribal areas are there guns, but not in other places around the country. And so for them, this is how it's starting. This is how it started in Syria. This is how it's starting. And so they clamped down with force. And I remember when the Iran nuclear deal was being negotiated, and once they were sort of getting close to the negotiations being finalized, there was all this hoopla in Washington. Will the IRGC agree to this? And I wrote an article at that point being like, of course they agree to this, because at the same, many of them, almost all of them, from that generation at least, are veterans of war. And if you talk to veterans of any war, pretty much many veterans of war will tell you that they don't want war, right? They've lived it, they've understood, and especially a war like the Iran-Iraq war, which was so close combat. And so many of them didn't, and they are thinking of their children. They want a country in which their children can live in a stable society. Within the Revolutionary Guard, when you talk to folks, either in the leadership or the rank and file, they would say things to me like, the things that we supported at the beginning of the revolution when it came to gender laws, at that time for us were abstract. But now that our daughters are coming up against all of these ceilings that we put into place, now we realize what we did. And we need to change those. And so oftentimes you heard that